Hi, I'm Merlin Selvaraj, studying in Maliba Pharmacy College, doing PharmD third year. And today I'm going to present a topic on interferon. Interferon, as the name suggests, interferes with the viral replication within the host cells. In 1957, Isaac and Lindman did an experiment using chicken cell cultures. They found a substance that interfered with the viral replications, and thus they named it interferon. Interferon are a large family of secretory proteins, and these proteins are made and released by host cells in response to the presence of pathogens such as virus and bacteria, or tumor cells. They allow for communication between the cells to trigger the protective defenses of the immune system that eradicate pathogens or tumors. Interferon belong to the class glycoproteins known as cytokines. They are present as broad and loose categories of small proteins, and the molecular weight is 50 to 20. They are important in cell signaling. The functions of interferons. They are cell signaling molecules of the immune system. They are proteins which produce antiviral and anti-proliferative response in cells. They are a part of active immune cells such as natural killer cells and macrophages. They increase recognition of infection by upregulating antigen presentation to T lymphocytes. They increase the ability of the uninfected host cells to resist the new infection by virus. There are two types of cells present in this picture. One is infected cells and another is an uninfected cell. The infected cells produces interferons, and these interferons bind on the surface proteins present in the uninfected cells and help to produce antiviral proteins. And these antiviral proteins, when the virus is attacked, help in degrading the viral nucleic acids and inhibit viral protein synthesis. There are three types of interferons: type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1 consists of 13 types, out of which interferon alpha and interferon beta are the main ones. Type 2 consists of interferon gamma. Type 3 consists of interferon delta, which is of 3 types. Interferon type 1. They bind to specific cell surface receptor complex known as interferon alpha beta receptor. This receptor is a transmembrane protein made of two chains, interferon alpha receptor 1 and interferon alpha receptor 2. The receptor follows a JAK-STAT signaling pathway. They are produced by leukocytes, that is WBCs, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes B and T cells, and monocytes and fibroblast. Fibroblast mainly produces interferon beta. They are mainly involved in innate immune response against viral infection, and these genes for interferon alpha and the genes for interferon alpha molecules are found on chromosome 9. Here we see a picture of a transmembrane receptor, that is the interferon alpha beta receptor. The transmembrane receptor consists of three domains: an extracellular domain, that is an N-terminal, which binds to the ligand, a transmembrane domain, which is used for stability, and another is an intracellular domain, which helps in passing the signal. In interferon alpha receptor 1, we have four extracellular domains. That is, the N-terminal consists of four subunits, and interferon alpha receptor 2, we have two subunits. And in interferon alpha receptor 1, the intracellular domain is TYK2, and in interferon alpha receptor 2, the intracellular domain is JAK1. Now, the interferon alpha receptor 2 and the interferon alpha receptor 1, when they are not attached together, they are in inactive form, and thus no signaling takes place. But when they are attached together, the JAK1 and the TYK2 becomes activated, and we get the cell signaling pathway and we get the desired action that we need. Interferon type 2. They bind to specific receptors called interferon gamma receptors that bind to interferon gamma, the sole member of interferon type 2. The receptor complex consists of heterodimer of two chains, interferon gamma receptor 1 and interferon gamma receptor 2. They are produced by T lymphocytes and natural killer cells, and they're also responsible for the activation of macrophages, so they're called macrophage activating factor. This is also transmembrane domain, and we can see that we have three parts here again: an extracellular domain, a transmembrane domain, and an intracellular domain. And here we have two JAK. There we had only one JAK in the intracellular domain, but here we have JAK1 and JAK2 present in the intracellular domain. And in this, the interferon, two interferon gammas, when they attach to JAK1 and JAK2, that's when the receptor gets activated. Now we'll see about the mechanism of action of interferons. Interferons bind with the respective interferon receptors, that is interferon alpha receptor or interferon gamma receptors, and this causes activation of JAK, which leads to phosphorylation of tyrosine. The phosphorylated tyrosine attached to STAT and leads to phosphorylation of STAT. This phosphorylated STAT then is translocated to the nucleus. This translocation of STAT causes activation of transcription of interferon-stimulated genes. This results in synthesis of several detail about the previous mechanism of action that we studied. Here we can see three types. Type 1, that is interferon alpha. As I said previously, it consists of 13 types, and then type 2 interferon gamma, and then type 3 interferon delta, which is of 3 types. Here each of them have their own receptors. Type 1 has interferon alpha receptor, type 2 has interferon gamma receptor, and type 3 also has its own receptor. Type 1 and type 3 have almost the same mechanism of action, but type 2 has a different mechanism of action. As you can see in the picture, the intracellular domain of the type 2 consists of two JAKs, whereas in type 1 and type 2 we have only one JAK present in both the intracellular membranes. Okay, binds to the receptor, that is interferon alpha receptor and interferon gamma receptor, and it activates JAK. JAK causes phosphorylation, and this phosphorylation of tyrosine, and these phosphorylated tyrosine leads to phosphorylation of STAT, and when STAT gets phosphorylated it forms a dimer, and this dimer, as you can see in type 1, it attaches to IRF9, that is interferon recognition factor 9. This complex, that is the dimer STAT and the interferon recognition factor 9, it moves to the cytoplasm. From the cytoplasm it moves to the nucleus, and this causes activation of interferon stimulating response enzyme, that is ISRE. And this ISRE, it acts as a promoter which goes and binds to the DNA or mRNA and produces and helps in producing proteins which produces the desired action. The type 3 interferon delta also acts in the similar way, but the type 1 interferon gamma, it does not attach to interferon recognition factor 9. Rather, it activates GAS, which also helps in producing interferon stimulating genes, which produces the desired protein or the desired action that we need. Interferon alpha is used in viral replication, that is chronic hepatitis B and C, and condyloma acuminata, that is genital warts. And it's also used in cancer. It's used in treating leukemia, capsisarcoma caused by AIDS, that is lesions grown in soft tissue, and malignant melanoma, that is skin cancer. It's also used in blood disorders for treating polycythemia vera, that is suppression of bone marrow, which causes overproduction of RBCs and thus leading to thickening of the blood, and also in treating thrombocytopenia purpura. Interferon beta is used in multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is a disease disease in which immune system eats away the protective covering of the nerves. Inhaled interferon beta is being studied to see if it can help to treat COVID-19 infection. Interferon gamma is used in chronic granulomatous diseases and severe malignant osteopetrosis. Malignant osteopetrosis is usually characterized by excessive growth of bones and is usually seen in children. It's used also to treat diseases in which macrophage activation might play an important role in recovery. Example, leperomatous leprosy. The side effects of interferon alpha. Flu-like symptoms. Flu-like symptoms means cough, fever, headache, tiredness, fatigue. Another symptom is nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath, hair loss, which is temporary. It's not alopecia, it's temporary hair loss, and loss of appetite, trouble sleeping, dry mouth. Dry mouth is one of the major side effects, and keeping yourself hydrated is the best way to prevent it. Severe symptoms of interferon alpha is low blood count that might lead to decrease in immune system because the WBCs, RBCs and everything reduces, and allergic reaction. Interferon beta. Interferon beta side effects are it causes numbness and tingling on hands and feet, bruises, paining, swelling, irritation at injection spot. The main side effect of interferon beta is tight muscle and stomach pain. Severe symptoms of interferon beta: yellowing of eye and skin, bloody stools or blood in urine, unexplained weight loss, purple patch or rash on skin. Interferon gamma, the side effects are extreme tiredness, muscle or joint pain, confusion, redness, swelling, bleeding at injection point. Severe symptoms are rash, swelling of eye, face, mouth and tongue, hives and difficulty breathing or swallowing. And if any patient experience severe symptoms, it's recommended to immediately call the physician or rush to the hospital. Common complications of interferon is anemia, bleeding, and thyroid disorder, and vision disorder. Anemia because, as we've seen in the side effects, the interferon causes decrease in blood count, so there's decrease in RBC, and thus anemia is one of the most common complication. We have thyroid issue, and interferon also suppresses the thyroid gland, which results in decline in many various functions of the body. Vision disorder. Interferon decreases the blood supply to the retina, which causes different vision disorders. Contraindication for interferon alpha. Tell your doctor or pharmacist your medical history, especially of blood disorder, eye problems, heart disease, high blood pressure, HIV infection, immune system disease, mental or mood disorder, thyroid disease, or if you drink alcohol or take drugs, or if you're a diabetic patient, because these things, if you have such things and if you take interferon alpha, this might exacerbate the condition and it might be fatal. For interferon beta, hypersensitivity to natural or recombinant interferon beta or albumin or any other component of the formulation, significant anemia, Low levels of WBCs, especially neutrophils, decrease blood platelets, immune system disease, that is rheumatoid arthritis, etc., mental disorder, or alcohol abuse or liver disease. For interferon gamma, tell the doctor if you have allergy to products made from E. coli bacteria or any other medication or any other ingredients present in interferon gamma injection. If you have if you have ever had seizure or a low number of red or low white blood cells or heart failure or heart or liver disease. Drug interactions. Interferon alpha, it should not be taken with barbiturates, colchicine, cyclosporin, and theophylline. Interferon alpha causes the plasma elimination of theophylline to decrease in a very considerable amount, that is the P is almost less than 0.05. Interferon beta should not be taken with NSAIDs, TB medication, birth control pills, arthritis medication. Interferon beta is already a nephrotoxic drug, and NSAIDs might exacerbate the effect of the nephrotoxicity, so NSAID should not be taken with interferon beta. Interferon gamma should not be taken with multivitamins, glipizide, aspirin, or should not be taken with patients who have cardiac disease, myelosuppression, or CNS depression. The dose for interferon alpha. Intron A powder for injection does not contain a preservative, and the vial must be discarded immediately after reconstitution and withdrawal of a single dose. Intron A solution for injection in vials is not recommended for intravenous administration and should not be used for induction phase of malignant melanoma and AIDS-related capsisarcoma. Interferon A is supplied as powder for injection or reconstitution and solution for injection in vials. To enhance the tolerability of interferon A, the injection should be administered in the evening when possible. To reduce the incidence of certain adverse reaction, acetaminophen may be administered at the time of injection. The injection should be placed in refrigerator at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Interferon A solution for injection should not be frozen and should be kept away from heat. Throw away any unused interferon A solution for injection remaining in the vial after 1 month. For hairy cell leukemia, the recommended dose for treatment is 2 million IU per meter square, administered intramuscularly or subcutaneously 3 times a week for up to 6 months. If the patient has platelet counts less than 50,000 per meter cube, they should not administer interferon A intramuscularly, but instead by subcutaneous route. Malignant melanoma. Interferon A adjuvant treatment of malignant melanoma is given in 2 phases, induction phase and maintenance phase. For induction phase, the recommended dose for interferon A is 20 million IU per meter square as an intravenous infusion over 20 minutes for 5 consecutive days per week for 4 weeks. The maintenance recommended dose is 10 million IU per meter square as subcutaneous infection 3 times per week for 48 weeks. For follicular lymphoma, the recommendation dose for interferon A is 5 million IU subcutaneously 3 times per week for up to 18 months. Condyloma mylitta acuminata. For this, the recommended dose is 1 million IU per lesion in a maximum of 5 lesions in single course. The lesion should be injected 3 times weekly on alternative days for 3 weeks. An additional course may be administered at 12 to 16 weeks. AIDS-related capsicsarcoma, the recommended dose of interferon A is 30 million IU per meter cube. The dose is administered subcutaneously or intramuscularly 3 times a week until the disease progression or maximum response has been achieved after 16 weeks of treatment. The recommended dose of interferon A for the treatment of chronic hepatitis C is 3 million IU 3 times a week, which is administered subcutaneously or intramuscularly. When interferon A is administered in combination with Rebitol, the patient with impaired renal function or those above the age of 50 should be carefully monitored. For chronic hepatitis B, for adults, the recommended dose of interferon A is 30 to 35 million IU per week, administered subcutaneously or intramuscularly, either as 5 million IU daily or as 10 million IU 3 times a week for 16 weeks. Pediatrics. We studied about the dose of interferon alpha 2b. Now we're going to study about the dose for interferon alpha 2a. For chronic hepatitis, 3 IU is given for 3 times a week, which is administered subcutaneously for 12 months. Chronic myelogenous leukemia, the recommended initial dose of interferon A is 9 IU daily, administered as subcutaneous injection. Based on the clinical experience, short-time tolerance may be improved by gradually increasing the dose of interferon over the first week of administration from 3 IU daily for 3 days to 6 IU daily to the target dose of 9 IU daily for the duration of the treatment period. Hairy cell leukemia. For this, the recommended dose of interferon A is divided into two: induction dose and maintenance dose. For induction dose, it is 3 IU daily for 16 to 24 weeks and it's administered subcutaneously, and the maintenance dose is 3 IU, but the dose reduction can be done by 1/2 or it can be withheld if any severe adverse reaction occurs. The use of dose higher than 3 IU is not recommended in hairy cell leukemia. This is a picture of interferon alpha 2A, that is interferon A, and interferon alpha 2B injection. Beta 1A. It is used in multiple sclerosis and we use it in two forms, that is Evonik and Rebif. Evonik is given in the dose of 30 mcg, which is given intramuscularly, and Rebif is given in two forms depending upon the site of administration. If it is given between the upper thighs and arms, it is given, the dose is 44 mcg, and if it's given between the abdomen except the waistline or the thigh arm, then the recommended dose is 22 mcg. Monitor for hepatic impairment or decrease the dose 20 to 50% if the liver function test increases or leukopenia is observed. For pediatric dose, Evonik is also given, the dose is 30 mcg, which is given intramuscularly. It may be titrated using a Evostat grip titration kit with pre-filled intramuscular injection starting with 7.5 mcg intramuscularly for first week to reduce the flu-like symptoms, and then it's increased by 7.5 mcg per week for the next 3 weeks until the recommended dose of 30 mcg is completed. Now again, administered in two forms according to the site of injection. If it's administered between the upper thighs and arms, it is given at 44 mcg target dose, and if it's given in the abdomen except the waistline and the thigh arm, then the targeted dose is 22 mcg. Monitor for hemoglobin, WBC, pulmonary test, and LFTs. Pediatric patient, Evonik is given 30 mcg intramuscularly the same way, and Repif, the target dose is 44 mcg. For pediatric patient, Evonik is given the dose is 30 mcg intramuscularly. It's given the same way as is given for adults and for pediatric patient. Repif is given, the target dose is 44 mcg if it's given between upper thigh and arm, and the rotation of the site of injection is very important as it may cause bruising or swelling, and we have to monitor for hemoglobin, WBCs, PLT, and LFTs. Repif is given 22 mcg, the target dose is 22 mcg if it's given in the abdomen, thigh, arm, and for this also monitor hemoglobin, WBCs, PLT, and LFTs. Gamma 1B, it's an injectable solution. The dosage is 1000 mcg per 0.5 ml. It's used for chronic granulomatous diseases. Is indicated to reduce the frequency and severity of infection associated with chronic granulomatous diseases. Interferon gamma 1B, it's an injectable solution. It's present in the dose 100 mcg per 0.5 ml. It is used for chronic granulomatous diseases. It's indicated to reduce the frequency and severity of the infection associated with chronic granulomatous diseases. The dose is given according to the body surface area. If the body surface area is more than 0.5 meter square, then it is 50 mcg per meter square, and is given subcutaneously 3 times per week. If the body surface area is less than or equal to 0.5 meter square, then it's given 1.5 mcg per kg subcutaneously 3 times per week. It's for malignant osteopetrosis. It's indicated to delay the progression for severe malignant osteopetrosis. If the body surface area is more than 0.5 meter square, then 50 mcg per meter square given subcutaneously 3 times per week. And if it's less than 0.5 meter square, then it's given 1.5 mcg per kg subcutaneously 3 times a week. Optimum sites are right in left deltoid and anterior thigh. If the severe reaction occurs, reduce the dose by 50% or discontinue therapy. Monitor for CBC, urine analysis. Pediatric injectable solution for chronic granulomatous diseases. If the body surface area is more than 0.5 meter square, then 50 mcg per meter square is given subcutaneously 3 times per week. And if it's less than 0.5 meter square, then 1.5 mcg is given per kg subcutaneously 3 times per week. The optimum site is left deltoid and anterior thigh. Patient counseling. Self-care tips. Drink at least 2 to 3 quarters of fluid every 24 hours to keep yourself well hydrated throughout the therapy. Especially if the patient is taking interferon alpha, dry mouth is one of the most common side effect. So drinking water or keeping yourself hydrated is a very good solution for it. You may be at risk of infection, so try to avoid crowds or people with cold or not feeling well, and report fever and any other signs of infection immediately to the healthcare provider. For flu-like symptoms, keep warm with blankets and drink plenty of fluids. There are medications that can help reduce the discomfort caused by chill. If the patient is experiencing flu-like symptoms, acetaminophen or ibuprofen can help relieve the patient. To reduce nausea, take anti-nauseatic medication as prescribed by a doctor. Eat small and frequent meals. Drinking alcohol beverages should be avoided, or should be the quantity should be minimized, because alcohol may exacerbate the dizziness feeling. You may experience drowsiness or dizziness, so avoid driving or engaging in tasks that requires alertness until your response to this drug is known. Conserve energy. Try to take plenty of rest and maintain good nutrition. Remain active as you are able. Gentle exercise is encouraged, such as daily walk. If you experience symptoms or side effects, be sure to discuss with your healthcare team. They can prescribe medications and offer other suggestions that are effective in managing such problems. Your interferon alpha drug for for inter for interferon beta 1a, your care provider will show you where on your body to inject interferon beta 1a. Use a different place each time you give an injection. Do not inject in the same place 2 times in a row. It may cause bruising or swelling or irritation at the site of injection. About 2 hours after your injection, check for redness, swelling, or pain where you gave the injection. Call your doctor if you have a skin reaction that does not go away within few days. To laboratory tests normally required for monitoring patients with multiple sclerosis, complete blood and differential white blood cells count and platelet count and blood chemistries, and including liver function tests are recommended at regular intervals. Consider analgesic or antipyretic on injection days if flu-like symptoms occur. Cases of drug-induced lupus erythematous have reported. So discontinue the therapy if patient develop new characteristic signs and symptoms. Rubber cap of the diluent. Pre-filled syringe contains natural rubber latex which causes allergic reaction and should not be handled by latex sensitive individuals. Monitor and testing. You will be checked regularly by a healthcare professional if you are taking interferon alpha and beta to monitor side effects and to check uh, your response to the therapy. Periodic blood work to monitor your CBC as well as function of other organs will also be ordered by your doctor. Your thyroid gland may also be affected by this medication. Your healthcare professional may order a blood test periodically to assess your thyroid function. An eye exam should be done if any changes in vision occur. Heart condition. Additional tests may be done to test your heart function. Advise the patient or their parents or caregivers that the most common adverse reaction occurs with interferon gamma therapy are flu-like or constitutional symptoms such as fever, headache, chills, myalgia or fatigue, which may decrease in severity as treatment continues. Advise patients and their parents or caregivers that they may experience undesirable effects such as fatigue, convulsion, confusional state, disorientation or hallucination during treatment. Therefore, caution should be recommended when driving a car or operating a machinery. Advise patient and or their parents or caregivers that they may experience undesirable effects such as fatigue, convulsion, confusional state, disorientation or hallucination during the treatment. Therefore, caution should be recommended when driving a car or operating a machinery. Here are some MCQs. Which of the following cytokines is used for the treatment of chronic granulomatous disease? Interferon alpha, interferon beta, interferon gamma, or TNF? The answer is interferon gamma, as we know that it is used for treating chronic granulomatous diseases. With interferon alpha, aspirin, infliximab, progesterone, or theophylline. It's theophylline, as we've learned that interferon alpha causes the theophylin's plasma concentration to decrease. Which receptor does type 1 interferon bind? Interferon alpha beta, interferon gamma, none or both A and B. It's interferon alpha and beta. It's a transmembrane receptor in which interferon type 1 interferon binds, and interferon type 2 binds to interferon gamma receptor. Which is the most common adverse effect of interferon gamma drugs? Just now we saw it's flu-like or constitutional. Which is the most common adverse effect of interferon gamma receptor? Flu-like or constitutional, tight muscle, depression, or none? Just now we saw that it is flu-like or constitutional symptoms. Thank you. Have a good day.